Hey, this is Nia Strauss, and you are watching CMS TV.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh!
And welcome to Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right?
It is. It is Be Clean Day.
It
Just
is
reminding
Wednesday,
you.
Wednesday, otherwise known as sometime early in the dark depths of nowhere on Sunday or Saturday on WHA.
So if you're listening on HK, go to bed. Go to bed.
Either
What
that
are
or
you
you're
doing?
just getting up. One of the two.
Well, then do some yoga or something. What are you doing listening to us?
So welcome to the show. That's what I said to somebody I work with. I said, why did I change like the swearing thing? I could probably swear all I want and like nobody's gonna hear it anyways.
Yeah. But you know as well as I do, there would be one nosy so-and-so
Yes.
that would complain, I heard the F word on your station. Those guys should be fired immediately.
Oh yeah, and I would be the one that would actually I would get fired. Even during Safe Harbor, I would get fired.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been down that road. I went down that road with MMS.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even me that said it. It was Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
Right.
Called me an a-hole a couple of times, and people complained, and I got in trouble because I was arguing with him.
What's weird though is that is actually a word that you can say.
Can you say the full word now?
But I mean, we're not going to do it on this show because
No.
each case is a different animal.
Yeah.
But like on MMS, you can get away. I mean, Triv used the a-hole word all the time.
Okay, I didn't
But
realize you could use that one.
You can call somebody one.
Yeah.
Like I can say, Chris, you're being an a-hole. Now, I mean, I'm not going to say the word because that would be bad for me right now.
Right.
But you can't describe one though.
Yeah. Or describe using one.
Right. So then you run into like
bodily functions and all that
Right.
other nonsense.
You run into a sticky situation, if you know what I mean. No pun intended there. But so, you want to avoid that. Like I remember there were a couple times where Triv dropped and I was like, "Whoa, dude, what are you doing?" And but it is what it is. So we don't have to be saying that stuff today.
No, dude, the one that got me almost fired, and I'll be delicate with how I say.
Yeah,
this.
we have to be very delicate.
Yes.
Very delicate.
was a certain word that combines two words. First word being douche, second word being bag.
Right. That got you in trouble?
If I combined them.
Oh, well,
If I said somebody was a,
I got you.
then I literally, and I mean, it came to a boil one night on MMS because I said it, like accidentally said it. I just said, that guy, he's a blah, 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 and I watched Jeremy, our intern, punch it out. I watched him button me out.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I was like, did you dump that? And he was like, yeah, you can't say that. And then I looked at Matt and I said, really? I can't say, and I said it again.
Oh.
So then Matt dumped out on it. And then I said it again. And then Matt dumped out on it again. And then he had to do the old Van Halen record.
What's messed up though is that's again not one of the 7 deadlies. You should be allowed to say that.
But you know what? That was right after Janet Jackson.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that changed right then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say in trouble. I got reprimanded twice for language purposes, and again, I'm trying to be very delicate here.
Sure.
But I was new in radio, right? And so I was recording a show.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first shows I was able to actually record, and then I could leave and listen to myself on the way home and stuff like that. And so it was overnight. So, they're a little bit more lenient, but still certain things you can't do. And so I did this really long bit. I think I've told you the story before. I did this long bit. And it was about Shamu the whale. And it was like sound effects and stuff. And like I had whale sounds and all this kind of thing. And it ended up being like 3 minutes long. Okay. And it was just too long and it just wasn't very good.
All right.
And so at the end of it, I didn't want to use it. So I was like, well, blank that blank.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm just going to do a quick break and just get out of here. I want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving home. And all of a sudden, I have the station on. And I hear whale sound effects. And I start talking. And I'm like, what's going on?
Like, oh no.
And I hear this 3 minute long bit. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, it's not very good, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But the problem is that at the end of the bit comes, and then you hear me go, well, blank that blank. Obviously, it wasn't bleeped or anything like that. It was me angry with what I just did, and or a couple of times in a row. And I'm listening to myself live on the radio say the word. And at that point, I just start panicking. I'm crying. I got pulled in the office. They said, just watch yourself. Make sure that you delete stuff that's not supposed to air. All right, sweet. Thank you very much. And then the other time, I was with Len Boom Boom Goldberg.
Okay.
And so it was Boom and the Barbarian till noon on Sunday mornings. He had changed the name of the show to include me, which I thought was cool.
Nice.
And so I ran the board for him. I pulled all his records for him, and I would talk when he would talk to me, but he did a lot of intro and songs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one Sunday morning, man, people are at church or coming out of church, and he messed up the break that he was doing. He messed up the song name. And so I go, boom. That wasn't the name of the song. And he unleashes a tirade of F-bombs and S-bombs, throwing stuff at me and everything. I was like, oh my God, this guy's so mad at me. I didn't mess it up. He did. Yeah. But I love the man. He was just such a great guy. But the phone's ringing. Mm-hmm. And I notice all the phones are ringing. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, yeah, radio station. And the caller goes, you guys know you're still on the air, right? I forgot to turn off the mic. And so on a Sunday morning, everybody getting out of church, there this poor man is swearing like a sailor. And I forgot to turn off the mics. Nice. So once again, Seth is crying.
Did you get in trouble?
And it's Sunday, so I had all day to think about it. And Monday morning, I get pulled into the office. Spaceman Scott was our program director at the time.
Yeah, okay.
And Boom is sitting there in his office, and they call me in. because I just got done with the morning show, and the spaceman looks at me and he goes, "Man, that was rough yesterday." He's like, "We're gonna have to let you go."
Get out of here.
I swear to God, he's like, "We're gonna have to let you go." And I start welling up, man. I'm like, tears start dripping out of my eyes, and boom, and he had that deep voice, man. He was the voice of the radio
Yeah.
station.
Sure.
And he goes, "Quit yanking his chain." And Spaceman goes, "All right, please, again, just don't let this stuff keep happening.
Right.
Like, get out of here. Go do what you got to do."
Right.
And I was fine. I escaped another one. And I kind of learned my lesson from there, man. When there's a mic around that even could be hot,
Sure.
man, you got to just not say anything.
Did you ever get fined?
No.
Yeah, we got fined on MMS.
But we got in trouble for some other stuff. We got in like big trouble for one bit that we did.
Right.
I hesitate to even tell it, but so it was like a, I don't know, what do we call them? Because you can't use the R word. Mentally challenged facility
Okay.
for people with disabilities and stuff.
Yeah,
Mental
sure.
disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And they had sent over this package of coffee mugs and T-shirts and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it was very nice, whatever. But all the products said people with disabilities or people with possibilities. And the guy who was hosting the morning show, I will not say his name,
All right.
but one of the funniest dudes I've ever met in my entire life, man.
Okay.
And he did a character that was a little boy who had a mental disability.
Right.
And he proceeded to do the entire 4-hour morning show in this
Oh
voice.
no.
And every sponsor known to man
Right.
was calling up and threatening to take their money. And it turned into a nightmare, a disaster. I mean, it was funny radio, but very, very insulting.
Sure.
Not the kind of stuff, especially when you get a little bit older, that you'd want to do on the
Right.
radio. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you what happened to that tape, because luckily we had tape back in the day. And I'm not going to incriminate anybody, but something happened to that tape. Never showed up again. I don't know how.
Yeah, it just disappeared somehow.
It's funny because my daughter just did for one of her senior projects. She just did a report on broadcast journalism. She had to do like a whole, and she picked radio broadcast journalism.
Okay.
And so she took pictures of studios and all this kind of stuff. And then she had pictures of me back in the day. She took a picture of me standing outside my old radio station,
Right.
where I was hugging a tree. I got a cigarette hanging out of my mouth, tattoos all over and everything. And she used that as like the cover page. And she talked about Howard, and she talked about Triv, and she talked about a lot of radio people. And then
Sure.
she was talking about me, and she neglected to say anything that I ever did on the radio. Because all of it was so disgusting and horrible that she didn't want to get in trouble.
Sure.
But she got an A, so that's good. But it was radio was a different animal back in the day than
Yeah.
it is now.
It was. Definitely was.
So I don't know. Jake is checking in. I'm trying to. My screen is a little bit different though. Mics are hot. Mics are hot. Be careful what you say. Mics are hot. Yeah, our old program director used to just run. Seth, don't swear in the studio. You never know when a mic is hot. Don't swear.
Yeah.
And every day it was like that.
I know I used to drive Matt crazy because you know me, I have a filth mouth anyway. And I would be dropping F-bombs and C words and whatever literally until the sign lit up. It would be like, this is I'd be running my mouth like crazy. And then as soon as the sign lit up, I was like, hey, what's going on, gentlemen? How are we today? I would just totally, but it drove Matt crazy because he was so afraid I was going to get comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And then just throw an F-bomb or whatever.
That's the problem with like this show. I get very comfortable, and then all of a sudden just stuff starts flying out.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I got into an argument with our sports guy over at the other radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so mad at me because I was listening to, I was kind of messing with him a little bit.
Sure.
and he got so angry. And as soon as I turned that mic off, he started rushing towards the studio that I was in. And he's swearing, I'm swearing, we're just going back and forth, just swearing at each other. And all you hear is other than the swearing, all you heard was these footsteps just running down the hall on the program director because we were so loud and it got so heated that he's like, guys, mics are on, you gotta turn the mics on. Mics were off. We were just swearing really loud.
Sure.
But everybody's so paranoid, and you should be. I mean, you can't do that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's dumb that we censor anyway, just in general. You know, I really do think that in 2025, I think it's okay to get over the language barrier, you know, because everybody swears. In real life, everybody swears. So why are we pretending that if we're watching TV or a radio or listening to the radio, that is some environment that real people live in? It literally makes you become more of an actor than anything, because you're just pretending to be something you're not.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. On the Agora, what does it say?
At the Agora,
Mustaine
spit on a stage diver who stood right in front of him. I believe that.
I almost swore because I was going to talk about Dave Mustaine. I wore a Metallica shirt to introduce Megadeth. What was it?
Yeah.
The Odeon. And
I'm sure that went well.
he was not a happy camper. As I'm walking up the stairs to meet the band, the publicist or whatever the girl was like, button up her coat now. Like, all right. Radio was fun, man.
Yeah, it was.
Really,
yeah, Mustaine got on me once when Napster was going on. He got all up in my stuff because of we were talking about Napster, and he goes, I hope you can sleep at night knowing that you're stealing from me. And I literally was like, I sleep just fine, Dave, just fine. And he got all mad, cussed me out. I wasn't going to play that game with him. I don't care who he is.
Ohio Creation says I seldom cuss. Good for you. I mean, it really, again, I'm situational cussing, but at the same time, like when I'm just around with my wife, we're hanging out and talking. I mean, we both just, let stuff fly. What's the big deal? They're just words.
I swear all the time.
I get it. I understand if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But I certainly don't do it on the radio, and I certainly don't do it around people that, my elders or whatever, people that I know aren't going to want to hear it. Well, whatever.
Oh, I know.
Seth, remember when a new hire producer played a clip from Major League that cussed and it went out over the air? I do remember that. That guy, and that guy has lived to tell about it numerous times. The guy has messed up and not very good at his job. Maybe he's better now, but yeah, he let it fly and then claimed ignorance. I don't know how you do that, but
I didn't hear it when I proofed it.
Yeah, it's tough to miss, believe me.
Yeah.
Now the guy
said, "Don't F with me." Oh, I didn't hear that.
The way the radio business works, that guy probably has a better job than I do now.
Either that or he's voice tracking for 36 cities or something now.
Like I've known people that have stolen stuff from like the building and end up with not the building I'm at now, but before, and end up with better jobs.
Yeah.
What is going on with radio sometimes? It's crazy. The business is crazy.
Radio entertainment in general is just the worst business for people. And there's I've worked in the corporate world. I've worked for myself. I've worked in radio. I've worked for TV, etc. So I have a pretty good feel for it. Entertainment is always just full of scumbags. Always. Producers and anybody with money is a scumbag. Anybody at any level is either in entertainment is either a scumbag, or if they're talented but they're still low on the totem pole, it's because they're not a scumbag. You literally can't get ahead unless you're a piece of garbage. You can't.
I totally agree. I know plenty of people like that, believe me. St. John's, Michigan. Jason checking in.
All right.
He's in the house. What's up, guys? Where's Ari? Ari's coming up in a little bit, right? What time's Ari?
4:30.
4:30. We'll be joined by the first
10 minutes.
Jason. The first
The original, the man. Dude, the guy that jumped out the water, pulled the girl in.
The kid that you see jumping out of the water. The actual first Jason.
That's right. Dude, I was, before we started the show tonight, I don't know why, because I've watched the movie 9 million times, but I was just watching Friday the 13th, like literally right before we started the show. I was watching Friday the 13th. That movie is so bad, but so great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and it's funny because I literally watched through the credits to make sure that there was only one real breakout star from it, which was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, right.
Kevin Bacon broke out from it. But I watched it. Nobody else in the cast went anywhere except Ari. And Ari, what's great in the credits is Ari gets the superstar credit. Like, I don't know if you even follow along with TV and movies or whatever, but when these guys get to a place of a power play, that's when they get in the credits where it says and starring so and so or and so and so. Right. Like, they'll have like a whole list of credits and then they'll say and so and so. Well, the only one in the Friday the 13th movie that got that was Ari Lehman, who got and Ari Lehman as Jason Voorhees. Which I'm like, holy cow. Kevin Bacon's gone on, I think, to win Oscars and stuff. And, but here's Ari with the main credit.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
I got a zillion questions for him.
Would it be insulting to ask you now, like, of all the big horror movies, where do you put Jason compared to the other ones?
So we're talking what? Freddy Krueger.
Michael Myers.
Halloween.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Child's Play.
Like Pinhead,
Hellraiser, yeah.
I gotta be honest. I probably put it above all of those. See, it's weird because the one thing that hurts the Friday the 13th empire is having 400 versions.
Right. Well, yeah.
Because it got dumb. Jason in space and all this,
Freddy versus Jason, which I thought actually wasn't that bad, but yeah, I mean, they really they oversaturated the market with these movies.
Well, I think they ran out of individual ideas, so they tried to cross-pollinate to see if that would work, and it just
even like the Friday the 13th. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Mm-hmm.
They like did so many of them, and actually, I really enjoyed the '80s bunch of movies that they did. But then now they come out with all these remakes and new ones and this, that, and the other thing. And no, I mean, don't. No. You're ruining the franchise.
Don't do that, and don't do. There should be we can ask Ari all about this because he's probably got a lot of insight on this. But there should be some sort of a cap. Like there was no need. And again, Friday the 13th, the original and part two of my all-time favorites in horror. Two of my definite top fivers.
Absolutely.
In the horror genre. But and Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is my favorite of those, which is probably my all-time favorite, quote unquote.
Is that the Dream Warriors?
The Dream Warriors, yeah.
Well, the music is good. The music rocks in that too.
Yeah, I love that movie all around. When Freddy goes, time to suck face, and he sucks all the air and energy out of her and stuff. I mean, it's a great movie.
Doesn't Dokken have a
Dokken does the Dream Warriors? Yeah, they do the Dream Warriors song.
Figured that might be why you're a fan.
Well, no, not really, because I don't really like that song, and I've told Don that, so it's not like that's a shock. But I think the big problem that you always run into with all these movies, though, is that there's too many of them. I mean, was there anybody still interested in Friday the 13th Part 7? Was there anybody still like in for Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child? I don't think so.
But I am the sucker that.
Oh, I am too.
I'm the sucker that saw all of them, and then I'm the sucker that have seen all the remakes of Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And some of them have lived up to the hype. So a couple of them, I mean, definitely haven't.
Yeah,
but I mean, to me, you can't beat the originals. I mean, the original
No.
Friday the 13th, at least the first couple were fantastic. And same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween too. Halloween's done that same road of just too many.
Yeah, well, and the ones that they've done recently have been abysmally bad.
You didn't like the one that Rob Zombie did?
No, that one is. I don't hate that. I'm talking about over the last 3 years they did two. They did two new Halloween ones with Jamie Lee Curtis in them, and they both suck on a level that is unbelievably bad. How bad they suck. I didn't mind the Rob Zombie stuff actually.
I actually like Rob Zombie movies, but I like the Alien franchise. Another one that you did too much.
Yeah,
the first couple were really, really great movies, and then you lost me. Now they did have that latest one that came out.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the name of it was, but that one I saw in theaters and it was actually really, really good. It was entertaining and they kind of went back to the roots a little bit. When all of a sudden you have Sigourney Weaver getting pregnant and all that,
right?
Alien babies and stuff. You've done a little bit too much. Let's take a quick break. What do you say?
All right, let's
do that. And then we can come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the horror movies, and we'll have Ari coming up in just a couple.
All right.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me.
Hang on.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Aiken, and I do want to say something about Hands to America, handstoamerica.org. Mario from Mario's Barbershop, always doing the stuff to help out the victims of things, and he sent me a text earlier today that they're loading up a trailer to send emergency supplies. The family's devastated by the recent tornadoes in Kentucky, and they need help now, immediately, urgently.
Okay.
Non-perishable foods, blankets, pillows, sheets, tarps, paper towels, toilet paper, hygiene stuff, anything you can help out with. Brand new household essentials is what they're looking for, because a lot of people were devastated by these tornadoes. I mean,
right,
every day there's more storms breaking out. Hell, I just had a storm roll through here a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, it hit here pretty hard too. I was hoping it wasn't going to take out my internet.
Me too. Well, mine. If the wind blows the wrong way, the internet's gone. You can drop stuff off at Mario's Barbershop, 7526 Broadview Road in Parma. You can call them at 216-520-1977 or go to handstoamerica.org, handstoamerica.org, and help out with what you can. Because Mario's a good dude. I like the guy. I remember after I got out of the hospital, I was having dinner at Harry's Steakhouse in Independence, and Mario just happened to be sitting there by himself.
Right.
And I rolled up next to him in the wheelchair, and we started talking for a while, and we maintained a friendship for a long time. So
that's great.
He's a good guy, and he could use some assistance with his charity, helping people out.
So, can't get any better than that, can you?
No, cannot. So Jake says Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers are the top three. Freddy's number one. Jason is really close second, followed by Michael Myers.
All right, let me ask this question then. Do you think that Mike Myers jumped up a spot, though, by the Rob Zombie reinterpretations because we learned more about him?
I think so.
I thought so, too, because we didn't know anything really about Mike Myers except he was another goofball killer that was running around a different town. When Zombie did it, we went into the whole, him being locked up and killing his bad stepdad and all that stuff. We learned why he was such a psychopath, which to me made the character way better. I'm with you. I enjoyed the Rob Zombie stuff,
but I actually like Rob Zombie's other movies too.
Devil's Rejects and stuff,
and the House of a Thousand Corpses. House of a Thousand Corpses, I thought was probably the best of those two, and that little mini series of movies. Devil's Rejects got a little bit. Did you see both of them or no?
Yeah, I've seen both.
I thought Devil's Rejects ended up becoming a little bit more, less of a horror movie and more of a creepy kind of weird thing. I mean, there was like
Yeah, but all that weird
guns and-
stalkery stuff, and
Yeah.
it was kind of weird.
Yeah, it wasn't just a slasher kind of fun movie. I mean, it sounds weird, but it became like a serious. These people are like really bad people doing horrible things to people. And it was a little bit creepy at times, but I still found myself rooting for him at the end,
Right.
which is weird.
That's funny.
Don't you find that about horror movies, though?
Yeah, I do.
I end up rooting for the murderers and stuff.
Of course you do.
Not in real life, obviously, but like I find myself rooting for Freddy to get these guys.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm with you. You
when
definitely
you find
do.
out in the movie that Freddy's not dead, and the top of the convertible goes up, and it's his the color of his sweater and stuff, I start cheering. I go, yeah, all right.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, LL Cool J.
Hello, Cool J.
Oh, maybe he sent another message here that I didn't see. Michael Myers did fall beat up by Busta Rhymes. Well, he must have got beat up by LL Cool J.
Oh, all right.
Still waiting on Ari.
Yeah, I just texted him right now. Said, we're waiting, bro.
Looking forward to talking to him.
Yeah, I am too.
All those movies that are kind of fun, dude. I don't know.
I love that era, but I don't like much horror now.
I was gonna ask you, like, what kind of movies are they putting out now that's any good horror wise?
Horror kind of lost me when everything just became gore. When it switched from horror to gore, like the Saw movies and
I like the Saw movies. But you're right, gory.
Hostel.
Wait a second, you didn't like Hostel?
I did not. I like the campiness of it. I like I'll tell you what I liked recently, and it's not that recent anymore, but it's probably the last horror series I enjoyed was the It stuff with the clown.
Yeah, I can see that. But
because it's kind of campy and goofy.
I know that they just had another movie coming out. It was supposedly like the worst thing people have ever seen. I can't remember what it was though. My daughter wanted to see it.
Wasn't that Millipede or Centipede or
no?
anything?
Human Centipede was really bad though. Those were really, really rough
Those
to watch.
are really gross.
Like really, really bad.
No.
I mean, I remember watching the first one, and I thought it was like you start to gag just watching the first one. But then they came out with another one, and forget about it. I think I made it through half of that movie. Watch another thing.
Jim is crazy. Jackal 1 here. Best horror was made in the 30s and 40s. How old are you?
Yeah, come on.
You're really going to say the best horror movies were made 95 years ago? Is that what you're saying, Jim? Between 85 and 95 years ago? Are you real? Even Frankenstein came out, I think, in the 60s. What was a good Jim Jackal? Tell me in the chat room, what is a good movie that was a good horror movie from the 30s? Tell me one. You do realize that's shortly after the Titanic sank. Frankenstein, 1931. Are you kidding me?
Come on, man.
Did it have sound?
Scream in the Ring.
I did like The Ring.
I like that, I guess.
I like The Ring.
The Scream, another one that the first couple were like pretty decent, and then they kind of lost me after putting what are they up to? Like 6
way too many of them. Yeah. How about the I Know What You Did Last Summers?
I thought that was all right, I guess.
Just to look at 25-year-old Jennifer Love Hewitt. That made it all good.
Wrong Turn.
Wrong Turn. Don't know that one.
That was a good one. Wasn't Eliza Dushku in it?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that one.
Because I thought she was one of the hottest chicks of all time until like recently.
Yeah. Let's see. Tremors. Tremors was pretty good.
I don't consider that a horror movie necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did Do you consider that a horror movie? I mean, again, it's a worm.
Scary movie, I guess, but not necessarily a horror movie.
I put it more into the campy thriller category than a horror movie. I don't get worried about giant worms coming through the ground
and getting us.
Yeah. I do worry about people coming through like my back, patio with like a machete or something like that. That does kind of frighten me every now and then.
All right, Jim, you are just too old. Jeez, oh man. The Mummy.
Mummy.
The Mummy.
Well, he did say Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein too.
Yeah. My man, he's 65 going on 95.
65.
Yeah. He's I know he's 65. He's getting ready to retire. But it's like, dude, what are you doing?
I can't. I'm trying to think of other movies. I don't really get into like the ghost ones, like the Paranormal Activities and stuff like that.
I don't really either. I need to see killing. I just need to see killing. I know that makes me a horrible person, but that's what I need to see.
What am I thinking? I'm stuck on this one movie that I was told was probably like the scariest movie of all time, and I can't remember the friggin' name of it. And I think it has another clown in it. It's not it.
It's not it?
It's not it.
Here's another one. This isn't it, but this is one that I know I like. Do you like The Grudge?
Yes.
I like The Grudge. Phantasm?
My wife was that one.
All right, Habu. The Blob. The Blob. What was the one with the severed hand that was crawling up the guy's back and then started choking the guy? Like one hand that was choking the guy. That was from the 40s or whatever.
Was the Thing? Wasn't that a movie like from back in the day that everybody?
There was an original, and then there was another one that was The Thing was actually pretty good. The 80s version of it was pretty good as well. So I like The Thing. The Thing I like that when they had them all lined up and they were like tapping the thing with the hot thing to see if one would trigger, and then the one triggered, and then he turned into the monster and came and killed people. Loved it. But well, looky here, our guest is here. I love it.
Yes, indeed.
I love it. He is the original Jason Voorhees. He's the first Jason Voorhees. He's also got a band, a brand new-ish type of a band called First Jason. He is.
That's right.
Ari Lehman.
It's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome to the show.
Man.
The boy in the lake, or as I'm known in England, the lad in the lake.
Dude, you're that alone. It's such an iconic scene.
Wow, thank you. Iconic, man.
Well,
That's
you
awesome.
that.
When's the last time you saw Friday the 13th, my friend?
I'm going to tell you 2 hours ago. I watched it before we started.
Oh,
me too.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Well, how do you think it feels? Does it still hold up after 45 years, gentlemen? Can you believe it? 45 years of Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny, Ari, because we were just talking about this. I'll ask you kind of the same question. Yeah. I love that. I love that whole era, the campy horror. I really think that I think that people that make horror movies kind of lost the plot for a while when we got into gore, when we got into Hostel and Saw and those types of movies that were just more gore than campy.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're different. It's more of a torture scenario. Yes. I think it's interesting. What brought about the all of these great, you've got Cabin Fever, you've got Summer Camp, you've got Friday the 13th, and all of those iterations. So what is it? It was interesting. Sean Cunningham, the director, I had the privilege of working together with him, was it 2 weeks ago at Nightmare Weekend Chicago, which is a GalaxyCon. So I was right there with Sean. and he was verbose about topics that I had not heard him expound upon before. You know, people asked him, what was the origin? What was the idea? What gave you the idea for the summer camp? And what he said was, which I loved, he said, well, there was two fairy tale concepts that they were thinking of. One was 10 Little Indians, where, you know, one keeps disappearing. But more importantly, it was Hansel and Gretel. Okay. Where the parents keep leaving the children out in the woods to die. Okay. And it's like, why do they keep doing that? But they keep, I remember as a child being like, why are the parents just leaving the kids in the forest, and the poor kids with their trail of cookies or whatever that got eaten by the birds? But, you know, it was always their fault for some reason, right? Somehow it was their fault. So Sean said that, yeah, it was fairy tales like that. And the whole idea that a summer camp being a place where your parents just, you know, they drop you off and say bye, you know, for really the first time in your life, you're just left all alone there.
So how did you get into the acting gig or this role?
And how old were you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I was merely 14 years old when they shot Friday the 13th. But rewind, because I didn't audition for Friday the 13th. Sean Cunningham was initially, he was interested in making like sports themed rom-coms. So he had made a movie called Here Come the Tigers, about a bunch of, it was kind of like the Bad News Bears, okay? So he had some success with that. So he had this idea, which was to do the Bad News Bears of soccer, okay? And that was going to be called Manny's Orphans, the story of a ragtag bunch of orphans who win their orphanage back from the mafia in a soccer tournament. And I snuck into the audition, which is at the YMCA in Westport, Connecticut. I just snuck in because my friends, my good friends, the Johnny and Bobby Basili, who were my buddies, and they told me, you got to get over there, because they had been in the baseball movie. Okay, so I landed an 80-line role as Roger, the girl-obsessed wingman of the lead guy who's trying to pass off his sister as a boy in the orphanage. You get it? One of those wacky madcap 80s. And Roger was always carrying a Playboy magazine. So, you know, he knew what girls looked like. So he started to catch on, you know? Anyway, it was funny. And it has music by Harry Manfredini. Barry Abrams, who also was the director of photography for Friday the 13th as well. Also Victor Miller's script. So that was their real pitch. That movie had some of the stars of soccer at the time. Okay. It had Pele was in the movie. Werner Roth, the captain of the Cosmos. They shot part of it at Cosmos Stadium, in fact. So, yeah. But see, now, soccer was not very big in 1978. Okay, so Paramount Pictures, this was the beginning. See, now, Sean was, in essence, pitching an independent film the whole time, even up to Friday the 13th. So they passed on Manny's Orphans. But they did say, look, you've got this much of a contract that we could work with. Could you give us something else? Could you give us a horror movie in like this much time with the rest of the budget? And so Sean looked around and quickly came up with this idea, Friday the 13th, okay? And initially they said, we need a little boy who's gonna, and at first it was just to drown in the flashback sequence. Gentlemen, the only iteration of Jason Voorhees in all of cinematic history initially was going to be a drowning child, and that would be it.
Right. Wow.
So he calls me up. I'm sorry, I didn't finish. They were going to select Noel Cunningham, Sean Cunningham's son, to play Jason.
Okay.
But his mom put the kibosh on that, said, I'm not going to let my kid play some monster. And that's it. I mean, that would be the worst thing ever. No way. So, I don't know. It was kind of like that cereal ad for Life cereal back in the day. They said, oh, get Mikey. He'll eat it. He likes everything. So that's basically who I was. I was that little kid who played Roger, who liked everything, very agreeable and very eager to do stuff. So sure enough, and also short. You see? And so they called me up. I mean, yeah, when you look at it, of Manny's Orphans, there was many different sizes and colors of us. And shapes and everything. You know, there was the tall kid and there was the Japanese kid and there was all these kids. So I guess I was the short kid who was appropriate. So they called me up and they said, can you swim? And I said, yeah. And Sean said, well, I need you to get down here to the office here in Westport, Connecticut. And that's how it all began.
All right, I have. See, you're just opening me up to 4,000 questions. First one, I'm going to stay with the swimming for a minute. Did you have to swim, or were you really in like 5 feet of water? Because the jump out of the water looks like you jumped off of something, like the ground or a box or something. Did you jump or
you caught us? You caught us. I mean, come on. There's a very strong water safety message here. Okay. That's really, if you look, the underlying reason for this movie is water safety, people. Always use the buddy system. Unlike Jason, he just went swimming. He didn't care. Right. Had he eaten something within an hour of swimming, who knows? No, but the question is about how the scene was shot. And of course it was, yes, of course. They had her, the shot of Alice after, of course, for some damn reason, she decides that it's appropriate idea after decapitating my mother to get into a canoe that has no paddle.
Right.
Because remember her paddle, it got
cut in half.
Yeah, so she's up the creek with no paddle there.
Right.
And like, why? And then also the blind policeman who's there.
Yes.
Are you okay? He says twice. Are you okay? Like, can you see? Like, what? So, the way we shot it was, of course, she's in the middle, and as you said, I'm in the shallow area, and they're shooting it from the dock over us, right?
Right.
So, but the fun part is how they wanted to scare the wonderful Adrienne King, who just didn't deserve to be scared at all, but she had been such a trooper doing that movie, and the very vigorous scenes she had to do with Mama Voorhees, Betsy Palmer. So anyway, she had to see. Now, the thing is, guys, the initial version of Friday the 13th that was submitted to Paramount Pictures did not contain this famous final sequence that we're talking about. And at first they passed. So August of 1979, I went home thinking I'm just a little boy that drowns in a movie.
Okay.
This sucks. You know, I think that's it for acting. I might as well pick up, I don't know, anything else at this point. Oh, you're that drowning child.
Right.
Could you do some more drowning for I was like, what a repertoire I have.
Right.
My famous line. But so here I am, a rather intellectual little child, kind of overthinking the whole thing. And Sean calls me up and he says, "We need you to come back." Because what had happened was, okay, this was October now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, against all odds, Paramount had given them another chance.
Okay.
So for 2 months, it was up in the air. There may never have been a Friday the 13th at all.
Wow.
Yes, sir. 2 months, it was up in the air. What are we going to do? And so they said, okay, we need to do another scene, which kind of ties it all together. I think that Paramount was saying, look, mama's decapitated, little boy drowns. Like, that's just a tragedy. That's not a horror movie,
Right.
We need something. There needs to be something. So different sources say different things, but I'm pretty sure that it was my friend Tom Savini who had been kind of guiding the whole little Jason thing all along,
Mm-hmm.
who submitted this idea that it would be Jason that comes back, okay? And I know that Sean initially was resistant because he said it's too supernatural. It's like that couldn't really happen, and I'll elaborate on that. But they did get that approved, and so in other words, I was called back in October of 1979 to shoot the final sequence. So
Okay.
when you look at the final sequence, note the autumnal foliage
Right.
Yeah.
behind Alice, because she's supposed to be there in June. It's supposed to be
Right.
before summer camp opens. This is just one of the entirely messed up things in Friday the 13th. They don't even try to do a color change or anything. It's there. All of a sudden, it's autumn. But,
Right.
like she slept for months.
In the canoe.
In the canoe.
Yes. It's like, I don't know, out of Africa or something. Like she stayed in the canoe for months. But no. So the thing is, they wanted to get a scare.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to do that? Yes, poor Alice, poor Adrian. So Sean says to me, "We got the makeup on and everything," and so I'm not showing it to Adrian. Like my back is to Adrian. She doesn't know what's going on. I mean, she does and she doesn't. She knows kind of
something's gonna happen, but
she's an actress and she's doing her job. She's in place and she's ready. So Sean whispers to me, "Okay, Ari, the cameras are rolling. And you wouldn't be able to hear me say action anyway, because you're underwater.
Right.
So just go out in the water and look up and wait for the bubbles to clear. That's action. You're the director on this scene, Ari." And it was like the perfect thing to say to a child like me. Like he just knew exactly what to say.
Right.
Like, I'm the director. So I wandered out, I just with my back. And so I went under the water. And of course, Adrian's a good actress. She's not going to do anything until he says action.
Right.
And he's not going to say action. But only I know this, apparently, because he didn't tell Savini either. So here I am under the water, and I'm like, okay, I basically have one shot at this, Am I going to come out like playfully or like we're in a swimming pool, just, splish, splash.
Right.
And then I thought, what's my motivation here? Bitch killed my mom.
Right.
So I just grabbed the side of the boat and I'm like, bitch killed my mom. I'm like, come out of the, and I'm like, that moment where you see little Jason, and I realized she has no idea what's going on. And that's when she turned around and goes, ah, and that's where they
cut the scene
because she fell out of the boat. She
Nice.
fell out of the boat into the water because she thought I had messed up.
Right.
She legitimately thought that I had jumped the gun. Poor thing, she fell in the water, turns around, kind of points at me like, you jumped the gun, and I'm just a kid. I'm looking at, there's even a shot where I'm like looking like this at Sean. Yeah. So then they blow dried her hair. They did it, and then they did the second take. So what you see is a sandwich of 2 takes.
Okay.
They have the second take as the bread, if you will, and the first take is the meat. And
Nice.
they it's all about the way they edited it and the way that the music and the way the whole thing goes together. And also the brevity with which we see little Jason is very important. He's there and then he's gone.
And it set it up for another movie. I mean, it was the perfect set. All right, now I got to wait a year, but I'll be the first one in line because I want to find out what happened.
And yes, and they reiterated on that in that famous little hospital scene. Exactly, where you see Adrian, then he's still there.
Yes.
And her perfect Gerber, she was a Gerber baby.
Right.
So her perfect skin is the whole screen. It's like, yes, we're having a sequel.
All right, let me ask you this, man, and this might be a little too industry, and you may know, you may not know.
I'll try.
Was there pressure at Paramount to come up with their own version of Amityville Horror? I think was like a year before it. Was that the motivation where they were just trying to find something to latch onto?
I know that Halloween
too, yeah.
Halloween had come, and that was really the because it was Jamie Lee Curtis, and right. Halloween, and I think it was also, yes, I remember as a young man now, living in Connecticut at the time, and there was 2 movies that really did affect us in the summer times of Connecticut where we were, and that was, of course, Jaws.
Oh yeah,
because I live right by the beach there,
Sure.
And yes, Amityville Horror. Oh my God, people were talking about that a lot. I remember. Yes. No, that's a good point. It's hard to say. Of course, Sean, in his heart, I think what he wanted to do was, and I think he still wants to do, is romantic comedies. That's, if you look, his biggest success really is Spring Break. He directed Spring Break.
Oh yeah.
So, he's that kind of guy. I mean, he loves working with big casts of young people and the camaraderie and the fun and also he loves to teach about acting and directing, and he's a very knowledgeable person. Let's also recall too that Sean, with Wes Craven, has done quite a bit of iconic horror creation, including, as he announced in Germany when we were working together, he said, well, I helped to create Freddy Krueger too, not just Jason Voorhees. And I was like, but Sean, that's like having a brother from another mother. And he said, yeah, man, but it's true. So, because Wes and Sean had worked together, and at one point, Sean contributed there too. So, he's certainly a master of horror without a doubt.
So being a young man on the set of a movie like that, were you able to stick around to watch all the other scenes and see a bunch of like naked chicks and cool stuff going on, or did they?
Specifically not the naked part, but I did get to. It's a great question, which rarely people ask, and yes, I did get to. Since I was a little kid, I was kind of out of the way, and you know, I could watch like a fly on the wall. You know, nobody. You know, I absorbed a lot at that time, and two of the scenes that I did get to see, most notably, when they do the famous sex scene in the cabin with Kevin, okay, and his girlfriend. Of course, no one was allowed to be anywhere near the cabin,
right?
Until that was done. But when that was done, the scenario where Kevin has the arrow poked through his neck, okay,
Yeah.
I was there to watch that, largely because Tom and Tasso were spending a lot of time preparing for that effect. So I knew how much it meant to them, and I had literally seen them putting together the pump.
Oh, for the blood?
Yeah, so I was, or it wasn't really a pump, it was just a tube. It was a tube for the blood. That's what it was. It was a tube for the blood, and the way it was all set up through the neck apparatus and the whole thing. So and there's a great little story there, because you remember when you see that scene, the blood kind of gushes out and then stops and then goes again.
Yes.
Okay, everyone remembers that, you see. So I was there and just watching away, and so the way they did it was Kevin was standing up now, and they had his neck, you know, and the bunk. So he was on. It was all shot on the second bunk now.
Okay,
you know, course,
right.
know, movie magic, as it were. And they had a dummy, you know, that was the body, and so it's just his head responding like that. And so now Tom was under there with a tube. I mean, I don't know if you've heard this, but so they're using a the only way they could really do it, because it was a, you know, low budget movie, was Tom was going to literally blow the corn syrup blood out of the tube. Okay. So they fill this tube with blood, and Tom goes under the bed, and they go to fill it, and they're action. And Tom starts blowing, and then all of the corn syrup blood goes down into Tom's mouth. And Tom just goes and blows out again. So all the blood comes out in a big splurge, you know?
Right.
And so you see Kevin hung in there, and, you know, everyone's waiting for cut, you know, and cut. And Tom comes out from under the thing, and he goes, "We're going to have to do it again, because the blood went down my throat." And you know, and Sean goes, "Why? It looked amazing." And we're all like, "Huh?" And so it was again, the only way they could watch playback was that they had like a video camera there for the continuity people.
Sure. Okay.
So they all gathered around the playback of the little video, one of those old video things. And they're all, I remember, they're all hunched over, and they saw the playback, and they all went, "Yeah, that's great. It looks great. Oh, it's a wrap," you know. I remember how happy they were. And that taught me something about movie making in particular. It's not always true for other art forms.
Right.
In the sense that sometimes with movie making, you could set something up, and something that seems like a mistake ends up being like the best part of the shot.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's like magic. And so another one I saw, which unfortunately was not like magic, Harry Crosby, Bing Crosby's son, by the way.
Okay.
He plays Bill. And, you know, Bill is, I was there when they had the discovery scene of Alice discovers Bill on the back of the door. He's hanging on the door there.
Right.
And he's got the
arrow in his eye.
Arrow in his eye. Thank you. So now, what a very, very, very nice person. Kevin, too, was very nice to me. But also Harry, very kind, very thoughtful person. You know, he's a little kid on the set. They always wanted to make sure I was cool. You know, that's all.
Sure.
Everything cool, man? Yeah, I'm cool. So, here he is on the back of the door, the poor guy, and you notice his eye is twitching.
Okay.
Well, because sadly, okay, I didn't mean to lead us the wrong way. They had
What did they do?
the eye makeup was pressed so hard up to his
Oh.
eye, and it was leaking into his eye.
Oh.
So he was experiencing discomfort, and he could
Wow.
tell that it was going into his eye. So immediately Sean said, "That's it. Strike the scene. Cut.
Right.
Cut, you know." And that's when we all were inspired, you know,
Right.
because Harry Crosby, you know, the show must go on in the old
Right.
Hollywood. I'm sure Bing Crosby would have been proud of him. He said, no, let's keep going. If we don't
Right.
shoot this scene won't be in the, and that would have been a drag for Adrian too, because she had a great scene. You know, her response is, you know, so.
Sure.
So he said, no, I'll endure this. And sure enough, they shot it. They got it. As you know, the scene came out great. But then when they pulled him down, they did have to bring him to the emergency room.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, his eye experienced discomfort for 2 months after that. Wow. And it was one of the things that led him to not pursue an acting.
Right, pursue acting.
And I believe he's an investment banker, which is much safer.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Ari, I'll tell you what, man, we're going to take a brief break here. Just to play a quick spot, and we're going to come back and we are going to talk about your band here in just a second. We're not only here to talk about movies, we definitely want to talk about your band as well. First Jason. So I'll tell you what, we'll play a spot. We'll play a little piece of a song from First Jason, and we'll come back and talk about that. Does that work?
Excellent.
All right. So everybody hang tight. We'll be back in a minute. It is the Seth Williams Show.
Follow the chaos. The Classic Metal Show is live on X. Stream all the episodes for free, watch the show live every Saturday night, or just get there and find out what is going on with the Classic Metal Show. Get your metal feed, x.com/CMS Rocks.
All right, we are back here on the Seth Williams Show. We are joined by Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees, and now the leader, I guess, of First Jason, the band. Tell us all about it, man.
First Jason, man, we are so happy. We just got signed to CDN Records.
Right.
First Jason has been slugging it out since literally 2009, you know, mainly playing at horror conventions and doing shows with other horror rock bands at little clubs all over the United States and Canada, and to some extent in Europe too. Okay. We initially started out when I hit the convention scene and realized that my reggae music that I had been playing, because I had been in a band from West Africa, okay, was maybe not exactly hitting the genre niche of the horror loving world. And so I had the idea for First Jason. I was fortunate to have a buddy at the time who was his name Amit Cleaver, Okay, a good buddy of mine from New York who was subbing, okay, for the Cro-Mags as the drummer, because sometimes the drummer and the singer didn't get along, so they would bring Cleaver, who toured with them through Europe and everything. So I don't know about people know Cro-Mags out there, but they're an amazing band. Okay, and then I got to Chicago, and through placing a Craigslist ad, I met an amazing individual. His name is Nefarious. He is the bass player for Macabre, which is Chicago's murder metal band,
right?
Which has been around for 25 years or so. They just happened to be on a hiatus. So Chuck, aka Nefarious, jumped into First Jason. So the two of them helped me to create Jason Is Watching, the first album, okay? And so that really kicked us off and just started to tour lots of little shows and stuff like that. Then, you know, time passed. We came out with, I got personnel from inside Chicago and St. Louis, okay, because I'm in Chicago now.
Okay.
And we did an album called Lord of the Lake, which also had a lot of love from the fans, because we had a song, Voorhees is the Name, and Kill for Mother. And we did videos for those songs, and that helped us a lot. The song you just played, The Price of Peace, we did a video for, and that's how we initially got help, okay? It was John McKenty, who's an amazing person, the lead singer for Incantation, the thrash metal band.
Yeah.
So they invited us to perform, and fucking Nuclear Assault was there. All of these amazing thrash metal bands were at the Carolina Chainsaw Massacre, which is an annual event that John McKenty does out there. So if you're a thrash fan and you're anywhere near there and you want to get your mind blown, you got to see that. And our minds were blown watching the sheer musicianship and just the hellaciousness of this. It was so amazing to watch. Sure. First Jason is not a thrash metal band, but we love to watch it because it just got us on our toes to do more and more. So then Ice Nine Kills singer asked me to sing on one of their songs. Okay. It was their acoustic version of Thank God It's Friday. So that got us a lot of attention. And then Twisted, the band Twisted, who we love to pieces, asked us to perform at their event at what's that called? Astronomicon? No, it's Astronomicon, I think.
There is a such thing, sure.
Yeah, in Detroit, right? And yes. So we performed with them and did a song with them too. Then we got to perform in Manchester, England at the For the Love of Horror event. So we, Corey Taylor was there, Tim Capello was there. That was a big thing for us. That was the first time we played for like 3,000 people. Nice. Then we opened for, so Ice Nine Kills had us at their last Silver Scream Con. So we got to open for, it was TX2, Avatar, In This Moment, and Ice Nine Kills.
Wow.
Amazing show. Now, I kind of felt that it was time, you know, we kind of reached a certain plateau wherein, okay, we love doing the rock shows all throughout the country, 200-300 people. We love that because, of course, a lot of what I do is the meet and greet. And, you know, so that way it's like we can really interact with everybody.
Sure.
Plus, we're always playing with these other kind of horror rock bands out there. You know, the Green Jellies, the Guars.
Wednesday 13.
Wednesday is an amazing act. Amazing. Sure. There's Argyle Goolsby. There's so many. There's the Jasons, by the way, who we packed the melody in together with them not too long ago. So, but I just said, you know what? It's time for new music. It's time for me to you know, put up or shut up. You know, do something, man. Like so I put myself in the studio with Rob Ruccia here, and now he tours with Nonpoint.
Okay.
And Nonpoint is like kind of a sister band to us now, because they're recording over at Uptown Recording here in Chicago. A big inspiration. So I got in there, recorded 7 songs for this new album, Into the Fray. Okay, Into the Fray, Slashist, On My Feed, Foul Deeds, First Things First, The Machete Mambo. Yeah. We've got a lot of good songs coming out. Like Slashist, that came because which is like a hardcore tune, up tempo hardcore tune. That I was listening to some of the Screamers, which is an LA punk band that, like me, uses keyboards going through guitar distortion. There was no guitar players in the Screamers, and they were one of the first LA punk bands. But the whole thing about the Screamers is their singer, Tamata DePlenty, and he was such a character. So I was watching some old videos of him. I mean, people like Jello Biafra and stuff. Just he was so animated. He's, he said a line where he goes, "Your fascism has got me wanting to do some slashism." And so I said, I'll steal that. And
right.
So I wrote a song called Slashist, which also borrows from the song Bonzo Goes to Bitburg by the Ramones.
Nice.
So
I mean, I'm 60 years old now. I can steal all these things from other people.
how do you describe that? Today was the first day I've heard of horror rock. So how do you describe horror rock?
Well, thank you. Wow. No, it's not. You know Alice Cooper, baby.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've never heard the term horror rock.
I think it. Well, no, it is a good question. Currently, there's a lot of bands that are associated with something outside of themselves in the media universe. Okay, so there's a lot of bands that associate themselves with movies. There's even bands that associate themselves with Lord of the Rings. There's bands that are into
Star Wars.
Dragon. Yes, thank you. There's Star Wars bands. So, but for so long, man, there have been bands and acts, and even, we can go all the way back to Screamin' Jay Hawkins, baby, who was one of the most popular acts of his time. Anytime you bring in, the horror vibe, okay, we can even look in reggae music where they have all these songs about Duppy Conqueror and just, bringing in that ghost rock. Of course, you've got Zombie Jamboree by Harry Belafonte. You've got they did the Monster Mash by Horace Pickett. But then as time goes in, you got Alice and everybody who really embraced it. And then there's so many bands that are really coming from that, super dark place, but I think that what would make a band a horror rock band, as opposed to just like, let's say, a death metal band that loves dark themes, okay, is that they do specifically songs about, or songs that are related to, famous horror movies.
Sure.
So I guess we're like the Svengoolie of rock and roll, the horror and the horror hosts of rock and roll. Well, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It really is.
Let me follow up on that one, Ari. Why don't they have you guys, and not just you, but you guys that have a connection to the movies doing the soundtracks? Because they always contract it out to, nothing against John Williams, he's the greatest that's ever done it, but let's be honest. Do you think John Williams when you think of Friday the 13th?
Well, now you bring up a great topic, because I don't know if you noticed, but there's going to be a reunion. Not a reunion, but a big show. Mm-hmm. Which has Danny Elfman and John Williams and Trent Reznor, and they're doing that over in LA. of all soundtrack composers, and I think Harry Manfredini should be in there too. We'll see. Thinking of Harry Manfredini, it gives me the answer to your question.
Okay.
In that, could I and have I written some kind of soundtrack stuff? I have. I did write I contributed largely to a soundtrack, which is a documentary about Vampira, Mila Nurmi, called Vampira the movie. But see, so I talked to Harry, who's the great soundtrack composer of Friday the 13th. He created the famous
right.
the of Jason Voorhees,
Sure.
which he created that. And if you ever listen to his music, it's very atonal and very influenced by Eastern European contemporary composers like Penderecki and Ligeti and those kind of composers, Stravinsky. And so one time, so I was talking to Harry, and he went over something. I think he had actually looked at the Vampira, the movie, and he said, Ari, this is not, he was giving me good advice. He said, you write songs. He said, everything you write is a song. If Mila is saying something, you wrote a whole different song for each thing she had to say. And he said, but see, soundtrack writing is different than writing songs.
Right.
See, if I wrote soundtrack, everything would be like Peter and the Wolf.
Right.
Everything would have its own theme. I'm not saying I couldn't be trained out of that. I don't know if I want to be trained out of that.
Sure.
Yeah, because in me is a rock and roller, is a songwriter. I came up out of I was a little prog rock kid, and then I got into metal. And then when I left college, I got into world music. So I played in a band from West Africa. I even got to play in Africa. So I'm just very, very in rhythms and songs. But they certainly can use songs in horror movies.
Absolutely.
And one of my songs is in The Barn 2, which is a great little movie. I don't know if people know the Barn series, but the Barn has been on the top 10 of Screambox for months and months, right behind Terrifier 2. And it's a great fun. The Barn 2 has Doug Bradley in it, a Pinhead, and Joe Bob Briggs. And So they put one of my songs in there. And there's several cases where they put some of my songs in there.
Nice.
But that said, there are probably people who could easily do both. I guess what I'd like to say there is that I'm creating a stage show for First Jason.
Okay.
That kind of tells a story, which is kind of a takes all the songs and weaves them into a soundtrack, which is a story about Mama and little Jason and me and Big Jason. So
nice.
It's a story in 4 acts. So I guess I've created my own soundtrack.
There you go.
Staying on that kind of theme of creating a story with you and the bigger Jason and stuff and going to the series of movies. Do you think that they crossed the line with as many movies as they've made about Jason or any of these horror movies? It seems like they found a good thing in what you did and what the first couple of Friday the 13th movies were, and then they blew it up into. Was it overkill?
Yeah, I would say one could agree there, especially in certain cases, But I think everything is about, what do the fans want, man? We've always got to be ready to respond to what the fans want. And even now they're creating a TV series of Friday the 13th.
Crystal Lake, on Peacock.
Yeah.
So, it goes on and on and on. I guess you have to look at it in a certain humorous light, like especially, for instance, Jason X, where he goes to outer space.
Right.
But who doesn't love that liquid nitrogen scene, man? You know, come on, that's one of the best scenes of all Friday the 13th. You know, and I think that I totally dig what you're saying. That, but it's like Jason is a legend. He's part of folklore. He's mythology. And in the same way, whenever you hear someone tell mythology or they tell the story of something great that happened to them, it changes a little bit every time.
Right.
So different people tell the same story different ways. And Friday the 13th have never had the same director or writer, I don't think, at any time.
Sure. I was going to ask, does the franchise take care of you? You know, you being one of the original OGs, if you will.
I would answer yes. In the sense that as an ongoing part of my job,
career,
career, yes, sir, as I do, I never take it for granted that even today and even in the future, people will still be fascinated and interested in this character that I helped to create. It's like it's as surrealistic as you can imagine. Yet I think it's about people, you know? And every time I'm at an event and some little kid comes up to me and you see they are truly, their imagination is absolutely captivated by Jason Voorhees.
Sure.
And I'm not going to let them down. I'm going to keep that imagination going. I'm going to keep that dream going. I'm going to build on that dream and tell that little kid or that person, whoever they might be. They might be a rock star or they might be some person who's, you know, no one pays any attention to. But the fact is that they're sharing in this mythos, and why do we do that? We do that because it helps us deal with some of the tougher things in life by giving a voice to those challenges. That's why we tell stories.
Sure.
And I'm never going to stop telling stories. I love those little kids. And I love those people, you know.
Forget about the little kids. I'm 50 years old almost, and I'm sitting there wanting. I want like I'm sitting there going, I need a picture, I need an autograph, I need a CD, I need I'm a fan as much as anybody is, and I think it's cool. So you're right. I want the legend to live on. I just want them to stop making, movies that I like the stuff that was good movies.
Hey, Ari, hold on 1 second, Ari.
We can't take it back. We're not in the 80s anymore.
Right.
I know, but I want to go back there.
let me ask you real quick this, Ari. We got to wrap up just for the time constraint, but we go right from this into an uncensored little segment. Would you like to hang out and be with us for that? Because I still got plenty more questions.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah, man. Of course.
All right.
Jason never dies. I'm here, man.
Well, then let's do this. I'm gonna put you in the green room for a second, and we're gonna play the theme song, which is a couple minutes, and then we'll come right back and we'll get right back into it.
Okay, I'll have some green at the time.
There you go.
Well, hang out. We'll be right back with you. And Seth, this will be fun. Now we know what we're gonna do for the bonus segment as well. We're gonna talk more with Ari.
If we're not signed up for Minds, I would do it right now. Minds.
Yes, sign up.
/Seth Williams Show. Sign up right now so you can hear the uncensored version of what we got coming up here in about 3 minutes.
That's right. That should be fantastic. So everybody hang tight for that. And if you're not going to, then have a good rest of the week.
Yes, amen. We will talk to you on Monday, my friends. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you. Bye.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.